Hopefully this quality comes out decent enough. But it's been a while since I made a video. I've been rearranging the way this setup is, but it's hopefully going to look the same like you've previously seen in my other videos. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to talk about the Razer Viper Ultimate. I've been maining this mouse ever since it released. And the only problems that I had with this mouse, honestly, is this side is kind of like stiff and it gets stuck. And it feels kind of mushy. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. I have bad audio. I apologize. But that's probably the only con. And maybe it was one of like the first batches that, had that problem. I hear that they fixed it. But I haven't put the money in to get another one because I'm hoping that they make a Razer Viper Ultimate Mini that's, smaller, which will be perfect for my hand size because I have small hands. Now, just speaking of this mouse, first of all, I do love the clicks when it was like brand new, when they worked. And this one, it doesn't really affect me in game, but I don't like how it feels mushy whenever it ended up messing up. But other than that, I love the shape of the mouse. Like I said, my only complaint has to do with my hands. My hands are pretty small. Whether I palm it or fingertip or even claw, it's like, as you can see, my fingers are going to be up here. And I don't know. It's like I've seen people like just hover over mice like these and have a perfect like claw grip, fingertip grip, or palm. Just depends how you play, right? I personally play palm or fingertip. It just really depends sometimes. Now, the weight, I think is perfectly fine. Like, I don't mind if they made a smaller version of this and it weighs the same. I think this is a perfectly fine weight, but a lot of people would say that the G Pro Wireless Superlight is better because of the weight. Now, I do have the G Pro Wireless, but it's not the Superlight, it's just the original or whatever first edition of the G Pro Wireless. And I was maining this mouse until this one came out. But everything about this mouse I do love. I just wish it was smaller, right? Like, I love that it feels ergonomic, but it's still too big, right? Like, for me, it's still too big, even if my fingers end up in the same place, basically. And with this one, I'm able to grip it better simply because it has a lower hump. But it's kind of weird, right? Like, I play better with this one and the shape feels better for my movement. But this mouse feels more comfortable, but my aim is worse simply because of me just not being able to grip the mouse properly. And maybe it has something to do with the grips on the Razer Viper compared to like the G Pro Wireless. Now, I know there's grips that you can put on here, but I really don't like doing that personally. So that's why I didn't really get the Superlight, because I knew the shape really wasn't for me. Another problem that I had with this G Pro Wireless is, personally, I'm not able to reach these side buttons. And like, I have to put effort into like actually reaching them. So for instance, if I'm playing, I really can't reach this one without pressing this other one. So it's like when I'm playing and shooting or whatever, and I go like this and I'll accidentally press this one. I had to go out of my way and lift my thumb up and like kind of hover over it in order to press this. And doing that, I have to go like this. So it kind of ruins a lot of like my aim because I have to go like that. As you can see from the side, I have to go like that, or else I'm going to end up pressing both, simply because just my hands are short, like small. That's all it has to do with it. On this other one, I don't have that problem. I guess it's the placement of them. They're almost identical, except since this has a lower hump and these seem to be closer to the edge, I can reach both of them perfectly without even having to move. Like, I can constantly just click it and my thumb can be resting right here on the grip and just barely go like that. And that's it. And then press the back one by going back. But that has to do with my small hands, right? And a lot of people have to find their shape depending on their hand size. I don't know my hand size. I just know I have a small hand. I mean, if I put the Razer Viper Ultimate, I mean, it's barely smaller than my hand. So my hands are not that big whatsoever. The only mouse that I found that fits my hand perfectly is what's it called? The Ultralight 2 Cape Town or something from Final Mouse. But I don't know, personally for me, ever since I went wireless, which was, I want to say it was actually this one. And then I switched through a whole lot of them from Logitech, like the G903, the G502 wireless. No, the G703 was the first wireless mouse that I had. I remember now. It's one of my favorite. It's weird because it's one of my favorites, but it's just so heavy. And it's so, like, I don't know, something about the hump I love about the G703, but I also love the side buttons. Like, if you can see, these side buttons are really small. I wish I had the G703 on me right now, but I don't know where it's at. But I really love the buttons. I love how, like, comfortable it felt to palm. Only issue is it was pretty heavy, and it was obviously way bigger than my hand could handle. If there was a way to make a mouse feel that way, but in a small form factor that would fit my hand size, I think it would be a perfect mouse. But then again, it's like pretty subjective. Maybe I'm like in the minority of like tiny hands, so it wouldn't suit or benefit companies to even make a mouse like that. I don't know. But yeah, just speaking of this has been my favorite mouse, and I'll explain why. Like I said, it's because of the grips. It's because I'm able to press all the buttons perfectly, even the ones on this side, and I do use them. I love the shape of it. You know, it's not comfortable, but it's also not uncomfortable, right? But it makes me play well. Like, I know that I play well. I feel like I play well. I use the Lexip ceramic feet, and I'm going to be using this on every single mouse just to get that consistent glide, right? Like, I don't want to try different mouse feet. I think I play perfectly fine with just having these four and playing on my Artisan Heen, I think. Heen. I think it's pronounced Heen, but playing on my Artisan mousepad, I end up switching between the Artisan and the GSR, the Zowie GSR, like the very slow version. I mean, it's kind of weird because they're total opposite of one another, but those are the only two mouse pads that I can play on and actually like do pretty well. So I end up switching back and forward, I guess, depending on the game I'm playing. If I'm playing like CSGO, Valorant, or like a game that's just kind of left and right and not really too much up and down and diagonal, I use the Zowie GSR. But if it's like super heavy movement like Overwatch, Apex Legends, games like that, I use the Artisan Heen. Even if I use the same sensitivity, I just tend to play better on this one when it's like fast-paced games like that, and games like Rust as well. So yeah, I love the buttons. I wish this one wouldn't have messed up on me. It would have been perfectly fine. But I hope that they do make the Razer Viper Mini Ultimate. I don't have the Mini, like the wired version, so I don't know if it would fit my hand well. But if that mouse does, and they do make a wireless version of that, maybe it's a perfect fit for me. And then I finally found my end game, because I can't afford to be buying, like, I found my main mouse pads, right? Like the Artisan, this one, and the Zowie GSR. Maybe I'll review all the mouse pads that I have, but I'm not going to be buying any more mouse pads because, you know, financial issues, and it's just really expensive unless some company or someone decides to like want to send me a mouse pad. Then I review it, and, you know, but I have to play with it for at least a month or something to give my thoughts on a mouse pad. And also a mouse, like once I find my end game mouse, I'm not going to like bother buying anymore unless, you know, I have the extra funds to do so, just to review them. But it's like the reason that I make these videos is maybe it'll help someone in some way, shape, or form. You know, it's just kind of a hobby, but I'm not going to like put money into it buying like all kinds of mice unless I have like extra funds to do so, right? So the reason I have so many is because I've been through a lot that I've been trying to like collect it over the years, trying to find like the perfect shape. And each mice is used for different situations. Like this is my main for basically every game that's not an FPS. This is my go-to mouse. I love the feel of it. It almost feels like a G502 from Logitech, but since Razer has this dock, I really enjoy it. So yeah, I just end up switching throughout their peripherals and just put it on the dock, and the mouse just instantly charges, and I don't have to really worry about it or think about plugging a cable like the Logitech mice. And I know the Logitechs have like a mouse pad that can charge your mouse, but I don't know. I don't want to put something under it when I already have like another mouse pad under this one, and the Artisan is pretty big, and I think it's not even going to fit unless they make like a long version of the G Pro Logitech player. I don't know what they call it, but they're wireless charging tech. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. I love this shape. I don't love this shape, but I love this mouse. The shape is fine. It's not like a love or hate thing. It's just, you know, it's just the shape. It's whatever. I don't know how best else to describe it. Now, one thing that I want to show you, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but just if you're wondering, see if I can actually show it. As you can see, it does pick up dust. Like if you look in between, now I'm a dirty person because I eat at my desk, because everything that I do at my desk, I watch TV, anime, and like movies from my desk setup. So like this is an extreme version of how dirty this mouse will get. So if you're like fairly clean, I don't know if you'll have this problem. It's not really an issue, but it does make the mouse look dirty. But then again, when you're like playing, you don't really see it. But still, just to let you know, it does have like these grooves, which should never happen with the G Pro for me. But as you can see, like the dust does get in it, and it kind of does get trapped right here, as you can see on the rubber part. But you can sometimes wipe it off, but I guess it depends what's on there. And if you can see right here on top as well, it kind of gets in there. Pretty sure if you really want to clean it, you probably could. I never clean mine, so I don't really care too much about it. But as you can see in the cracks that it has, I mean, dust does get in there. But you can see right there, there's something in there. I can probably blow it out or something, but I even put my nail and it kind of moved it. So yeah, it does collect a lot of stuff. I mean, well, this is an extreme version, right? For me, unless you live like in a super dusty environment. But other than that, as you can see right here as well on the sides, it also gets that. But I mean, fairly still looks brand new, you know, besides all the dust, especially if you do put it from far away. It's like, oh, look, you don't even notice it, right? I don't know. But for me, it doesn't really matter. Like your hand covers it. It's not like I look down here. Like I hate that they put logos or RGB here when you don't even see it. Like I do like that they have on this one, they have a light RGB on the scroll wheel. I think all mice should do that, because it's like, I don't see the point of this only when you're charging it, because it tells you when it's low or when it's done charging. But even the docklets, you know, when it needs charging and stuff like that. So even this is not necessary. I wish they had RGB somewhere else. Personally, I like lighting systems and mice. Like I think it can define your setup a little bit more, and it's just pretty to look at sometimes. So yeah, these are my overall thoughts about this mouse after using it since day one, and I've always go back to this one. I hope Razer does make a smaller version, and hopefully I can find that can be my in-game mouse. You know, we're all searching for that, or at least most of us. And currently, I don't know for how long, but they have it on sale on Amazon for like 70 or 80 bucks. So if you're interested and you have some bigger hands than me, you'll probably like this shape. So I would pick it up if I was you, or if you have like, if you love the mouse, but you had the problem like me, it's probably not the good time to buy it because it's on sale. I don't know why. I don't know for how long either, but if you check on Amazon, it's definitely like super cheap. I mean, it's not like cheap, but it's cheaper than what the original price is. So definitely cop one if you're interested in one. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, ladies and gents, for, you know, listening, watching. And if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below. Like I said, this is just kind of a hobby, so don't expect too many videos all the time. It's just going to be random. So yeah, don't feel the need to subscribe to this channel. Like I said, I don't have no intentions of like growing or anything. I just want to make videos of whatever, like things of products that I have that I use in my day-to-day gaming life or whatever, and just review them. So whenever I get something, sometimes I want to talk about it, you know, and give my overall thoughts of it. I'm not like other reviewers that actually do well and review products, right? Like I'm terrible at doing this. So yeah, but that's my overall thoughts about this mouse. And yeah, hopefully it helped in some way, shape, or form. But I guess I'll see you next time whenever I record another video, whether it's in a month, 2 months, or a year. Yeah, be safe. Have a lovely rest of your night or day. Take care.